Hello, this video is about how you can easily create great presentations and run more productive meetings using Goalscape. I will show you how Goalscape overcomes the limitations of traditional slideware like PowerPoint and how you can save time in preparing presentations and meetings. I originally came up with the Goalscape concept in the run-up to the Sydney 2000 Olympics. I wanted to visualize everything my crewmate and I had to do to succeed. I also wanted to set the right priorities based on the progress we were making. With these goal maps, we could not only stay well structured, but we could also set priorities and evaluate progress in one easy to read image. That helped me and my crew to improve our performance, and is part of the reason why we won a couple of European titles and World Championship medals and competed in 2 Olympic Games. Goalscape has come a long way since then, and now it is much more than just a strategy development and management software. It is also a very powerful presentation tool. In fact, I will run this presentation with Goalscape, so you can see how it works. This is the Goalscape structure I quickly drafted up for this presentation. How to create great presentations with Goalscape. First thing I will do is I will enter presentation mode. I just choose from the view menu presentation mode. And then I expand a level for more detail. So what do I want to talk about in this presentation? I want to talk about the limitations of slideware, of which there are a few. Most presentations today are done with PowerPoint or Keynote or something similar like that. And they do have their problems, and I want to briefly talk about them before talking about how and what the advantages of Goalscape are. And lastly, I want to show you that with Goalscape you can go beyond presentations. When you have prepared a talk, it's not only good for the presentation but also for the follow-up afterwards. So let's get started with the limitations of slideware. The biggest limitation of slideware is that it forces you into a strictly linear narrative. It's like you have to write a novel, but all you have are short stories. And usually most presentations or most topics we're talking about are more like a tree, where different topics are connected in a tree-like fashion, but we have to compress them in this linear structure. And that is very hard to do. It's kind of like a movie. A movie is a linear structure, but writing a movie, writing the script to a movie is extremely difficult, and getting everything right there. And every time we do a presentation with slideware, we have that challenge, to create this awesome linear structure. It is a burden unless you get it really right, like Al Gore, for example, where he even won an Oscar with a slideshow, An Inconvenient Truth. But normally when we do presentations, we can't really face that challenge. So the linear structure is more of a burden than a help. Another problem with slideware is that you cannot really brainstorm with it. You can't collect ideas and then cluster them, because again you just have this linear structure that doesn't allow that. So you have to do that on pen and paper, which fragments your creative process and creates extra work because you got to put it all back together. And lastly, with slideware you cannot really engage the audience. I've never seen a presenter change a slide or add a slide because someone in the audience said something. It's always these two worlds. There's the slides, there's the presentation, and then there's the audience, and they're apart. So what are the advantages of Goalscape, and how can Goalscape do a better job at that? Well, with Goalscape, first of all, you define the central goal of the presentation, and that's in the center, visible to anyone. Small topic here is how to create great presentations with Goalscape. That's what I'm talking about. But defining a goal and making that visible to everyone is a great advantage. Next, Goalscape's great for brainstorming. You can just collect any material, may it be goals that you visualize here or attachments, any sort of material. You can just throw it together and have a wild collection before you cluster and compose. To reorder sub-goals, you can drag and drop them around like that. Just drag them, drop them down, drag them back. It's very natural and very easy. Assembling any external content is also easy. If you want to enhance your ideas with images, videos, graphics, or detailed data in other formats, you can attach any file to any goal. Here are some examples. Here's a graphic. Here's another graphic that I might want to open in full screen view to completely concentrate on it. And here's a nice sailing image. But what if you actually want to use a slideshow in parts of your presentation to tell a short linear story? Then PowerPoint actually gets its moment of glory. That's what it was made for. Simply attach any PowerPoint file to a goal. If you save them into PowerPoint show file format, you can even open them up in full screen view, simply by double-clicking on them. Here's an example of how this works. I double-click on a PowerPoint show file. It opens up in full screen view, and I can progress through the slides like I usually do. And in the end, I go straight back to Goalscape. This is a great way to recycle the storylines of existing PowerPoint presentations without being forced into this long, linear, easily boring chain of slides. But Goalscape really shines when it comes to presenting and interacting with your audience. For example, in Goalscape, the overall structure is on display all the time, but you can also drill down to any level of detail. Let me show you how this works in a real-life scenario. Go back to normal mode, pick another project as an example. When preparing for the Olympics, the daily debrief might just require a boat handling discussion, in which case the team could simply just focus on that area. Here again, you can open certain files to show more detail. You can focus further down, open an instruction. Here it's in the form of a PDF file. Close that off. Also note that the overall context is still visible in the top left corner. That's what Goalscape is all about. Mining the details without losing the overview. This example also shows how the depth of the information in Goalscape can easily be adapted to the context of the situation. Let's shift back to our presentation Goalscape. Again, enter full screen mode. Another way to interact with the audience is to integrate their comments and ideas. Yes, please?
Looks like it's more fun too.
Right. Let me put that straight in. Add a neighbor. More fun. All right. That was fake, but you get the idea. Any idea someone raises can potentially get integrated either by adding a goal or a note, or by changing the importance or progress values. You can even assign and agree on responsibilities and due dates. Because Goalscape is a powerful strategic planning and management tool, you can use it beyond presentations. With Goalscape, you can use the same structure you created for the presentation to manage the project when the presentation is over. It also makes it easy to follow up actions that you agreed to take in your meeting or workshop. Goalscape Connect, our online version, makes this process even easier. Just upload your Goalscape and send the link to anyone you want to collaborate with. So to summarize, the Goalscape format conveys the essential information in a powerful overview map. It engages your audience, encourages interaction, and communicates your message in an easy-to-understand way. And you can update your presentation on the fly to incorporate new ideas and any follow-up actions. So you spend less time, communicate more, and have more fun when delivering presentations, or when running workshops and meetings. Just try it out for yourself by downloading the free trial now. Thank you very much.